I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So before we continue in the small plates, we have to return to the Old Testament. This will be the book of Nehemiah. Now, Nehemiah and Ezra had a shared introduction, so we're just going to get right into this. This will be chapter 1. Nehemiah mourns and fasts and prays for the Jews in Jerusalem. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah. And it came to pass in the month Chislew, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan the palace, that Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah. And I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. So, Nehemiah is living in the capital city of Shushan. This is the capital city of Persia, way to the east. Hanani and his company come to Shushan, and Nehemiah is asking for news of Jerusalem, and the news is not good. The walls of the city have still not been built, and the people are in constant danger. Verse 4. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days, and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven, and said, I beseech thee, O Lord, God of heaven, the great and terrible God, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him, and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments, which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, If ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if ye turn unto me, and keep my commandments, and do them, though there were of you cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Now these are thy servants and thy people, whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power, and by thy strong hand. O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant, and to the prayer of thy servants, who desire to fear thy name. And prosper, I pray thee, thy servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was the king's cupbearer. So the quote here, this isn't a direct quote, but what Nehemiah is referencing here when he talks about the word of the Lord to Moses about the scattering and gathering. This is quoting from Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 1 through 5. It's not a direct quote, but it does get the essence of what God is saying there. And this is Nehemiah's prayer. He's saying, bless me that I may have favor in the sight of the king. When he says at the end there, in the sight of this man. He's talking about the king. He is worried about Jerusalem, and he wants to go and help out the city of Jerusalem. But he is the king's cupbearer. He must have the king's permission. The cupbearer is a very influential position within the court, but it is still a servant. He is not of noble birth. And so in order to leave, in order to vacate that position and go to Jerusalem, he must have the king's permission. And that's what he's praying for at this time. That will do it for chapter 1. I will see you in chapter 2 next. So, ciao.